along with the big easy man himself, Bill Moss. Pleasure to be with you once again, and a vital game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their hopes to make the playoffs, Bill.
Well, it is, and the guy that's back at the helm is Trent Dilfer. He gets the chance to come back, and this time around, I think he's a little bit more loose. Loose because the embarrassment of being benched has already happened. Now, he won't admit it, but we talked to him yesterday, and I thought he was looser. The teammates said he was looser, and the coach feels he's looser. And with that, he said that the one thing I'm critical about is I've been too conservative. I'm going to open up a little bit and throw the ball downfield. I expect to see that today. And in order to do that, he needs his offensive line to protect up front. Doesn't matter if Zaire was in there or Dilfer. They were getting knocked around way too much.
Here in New Orleans, there is one big name jumping out at you, and that's Ricky Williams. He carried the load last week with 40 carries. They expect him to carry almost as much today.
That's what they brought him in here to do, and they're going to pound the ball at you. That's their offense. But the thing about it is this guy is finally getting healthy from the ankle injury he had. You see the numbers he's been putting up over the last 2 weeks, over 100 yards both times, and that's going to continue again today. But what they have to do is he has to find the end zone. 0 rushing touchdowns. And it's going to be a tough job today, especially up front for the offensive line. 2 new guards in there. Tom Ackerman in for Chris Naoli, and then for Wally Williams, it's his first start. Mike Hallepin has the job of blocking Warren Sapp. We'll keep an eye on that one.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers say they left New Orleans last season with a sick feeling when they were beaten 9-3. They don't want it to happen again. The Saints want to get their season turned around. Set for the opening kickoff right after this.
He truly was the best football player I've ever seen. All those great Bears that have joined George Halas, I tell you one thing, he's saying, hey, I finally got the final piece of the puzzle. I finally got the final piece of the puzzle. I got the greatest player of all.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and join your New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Walter Payton, the NFL's all-time leading rusher and a hero for all ages.
Joining us on the field today, working the sidelines, is Jim Gallagher. Let's go to him right now. Jim.
Sam, thank you very much. You know, Walter Payton has already left a legacy here with the New Orleans Saints. Of course, Ricky Williams, when he played at Texas before every home game his senior year, watched the tape of Walter Payton for inspiration. He wears number 34, and Sam, his coach was Walter Payton's coach, Mike Ditka. Let's head back upstairs.
Thank you, Jim. Walter Payton.
And the only chance you have is the
Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs, winning the coin toss, have elected to receive. Doug Bryan kicking off. Yo Murphy is deep for Tampa Bay. Murphy steps up, takes it at the 6. Gets some wedge blocking and breaks through. Yo Murphy across midfield. He drops the football, and it rolls out of bounds. It'll remain Tampa Bay ball. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have never returned a kickoff in the team history for a touchdown. Yo Murphy was on his way, but dropped the football.
Watch the wedge up here. This is where it starts. There's the double team block, the kick out by Allstott, and there was the seam. And when you break through the seam, Yo Murphy, watch, he changes the ball in the direction of the sidelines and heads for the sideline.
Willie Clay was there to cut him off. The ball bouncing out of bounds. He just dropped it. Nevertheless, the Bucs have the ball in excellent field position at the New Orleans 40. And Dilfer checks off right away. With all said and done in the backfield, it's Warrick Dunn taking it back up the middle and gets a good pickup of about 5.
To make this drive, to get in this position to try this, and they did it.
Well, you know, everybody talks about the kicker and what he does and what he...
Jerry Wunsch is starting his 5th consecutive game in the 4th quarter.
And the kick headed for...
Bay. Jacquez Green and Riddell Anthony are the wideouts. Anthony has caught 21 passes. Dave Moore has caught only 2 passes in the last 3 games. There is Trent Dilfer. Eric Zier suffered bruised ribs last week against Detroit. The injury got worse as the week went on, and he's unable to play. He's listed as the emergency quarterback today. On second down, it's done again. This time he got nothing. Lost a yard on the play.
So, but there is back on the sideline, and 3 weeks ago against
A good one. Exceptional tackles were Roy Glover and Wayne Martin.
And that's why I'm not second-guessing now, but that's why you take a shot at the end zone before you go for that, because, as you know, nothing is automatic. Saponio there on the sideline. When that thing was blocked, he's the happiest person here.
Oh, man.
Here's a third down play for the Bucs. Saints look like they jumped offside. Complete to Jacquez Green for a first down. He dropped the ball out of bounds.
The middle and then right from the outside. That's where it was blocked.
Brian Robinson, I think, got the hand on it. The snap is good.
You see, they get to push up the middle, and they get the press from the outside.
Robinson.
That Favre can't believe that.
Playmakers have not given this team big plays. They need a spark. That was a spark, getting that 55-yard return and putting them in the Saints territory. Now they got to capitalize on it.
And Dilfer sparked with a third down conversion. Gunn cuts it back. Drop the ball. It's loose. And the Saints have it. On his way is Willie Clay, and he's brought down. So that's Ashley Ambrose. My apologies. Ashley Ambrose, the cornerback, recovered the fumble, returns it to the Bucs 44-yard line.
Warrick Dunn has not been getting many carries. And anytime he touches the ball, he's been trying to do too much with the ball. Here, the power O is supposed to go to the left. He cuts it back, and as he cuts it back, Jared Tomich comes up from behind and puts his helmet right on the ball. Here's Tomich right in there. He comes and makes the stick. The ball pops out, and Ashley Ambrose is there to pick it up.
The Bucs talked about untimely mistakes hurting them all season long, and there's one right there. And now the Saints on offense with Billy Joe Tolliver at quarterback off the play fake. Wants to go deep. He wants it all. And it is intercepted by the Bucs and brought out of the end zone by Rondé Barber. And he is hammered down. So back-to-back turnovers. The Saints give it right back. And you can hear the reaction of the crowd. Rondé Barber with the interception, only the 6th interception of the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have the fewest takeaways in the league. But here's a big one.
That's not an interception.
Okay, let's see.
And let's see if we can pick it up here.
You can see the ball. Watch Barber come down. No, it's right here. You're going to watch his hands reach out right there. He's grabbing out. See? That ball's on the ground. And Keith Poole knew the ball was on the ground. He sees it, and he goes over and he tells Mike Ditka, challenge that. It was not an interception, Coach. Because Mike Ditka challenged it right away as soon as Keith Poole came over to the sidelines, because there's no jumbotron, there's no angle that he saw anywhere. That was Poole telling him.
Now let's see. Here's Barber coming down. And that ball definitely hit the ground. That's the best angle. There you see that the ball hit the ground. And that will be overturned. It should be overturned. Ed Hockley is checking it out. And the coach is awaiting the ruling of the referee. But already a big play early in this game.
Well, you know, you can see that both of these teams are struggling, and both of these teams are trying to jumpstart their team. Everybody who's been on the field so far is trying to make something happen. Poor Tony Dungy.
And folks, Joe Buck
Worked against him.
It has.
in a
wild game between onto the field for the official ruling.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. The pass was intercepted in the end zone. There will be a timeout charged to New Orleans for the challenge. That's their first timeout.
Wow. Now, I don't know if Ed saw this or not. Again, it must be conclusive evidence to overturn a call on the field.
Well, if this is not conclusive, then he must not have seen it.
Well,
That ball's on the ground. There's no question about it. Now, you explain that to me.
so it is an interception, the 9th interception.
No, it's Tampa's ball. It's not an interception.
Well, that's the official ruling. That's what's going to show in the scorebook. Tampa Bay gets the ball back. And the discussion on the field continues. Could have been as far as the clock is concerned. Now we start. It is Tampa Bay ball at their own 12-yard line. The interception stands.
Oh, here comes Ed Hockley in again. He just waved it dead for the second time. Have seen the angle that we just saw. Ed Hockley is running back over to the machine. I don't believe he saw that angle. All the other angles, you could probably say it's inconclusive.
Angle, it certainly looks as if the ball hit the turf, bounced right back to Rondé Barber.
He did not look in the machine.
The 90 seconds allotted for replay had expired. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands as called, and New Orleans is charged to timeout.
Wow. Well, this one goes against Mike Ditka and the Saints. They have already in field goal range for that man. And the ruling stands. This is not a perfect system by a long shot. And this is one instance where it has not worked. Nevertheless, we resume play. Tampa Bay has the ball back. And Warwick Dunn tries again. Picks up about 4 on the play. Last week, in their game against Detroit, Dunn and Allstott carried for a total of 19 times. That's not normally Tampa Bay's offensive game plan.
Well, there goes Warwick Dunn off limping. And, you know, they haven't been able to do the job up front as of the last few weeks. The running game really hasn't been there, particularly Warwick Dunn. Last year he had over 1,000 yards rushing. He's nowhere near that right now.
2 tight ends in with Patrick Hape lining up as a fullback in the backfield. Dilfer threw it behind Riddell Anthony.
And that's all.
He does so with 38 seconds.
As he said, that's my fault. He had the slant. The slant was wide open there off the play action, and he just threw it behind him.
That brings up another 3rd and long. Anything 7 yards or more, Tampa Bay's 3rd down conversion rate this season has been 13%. Here's 3rd and 7. Darnell McDonald and Yo Murphy are in the lineup. 4 wide receivers. Dilfer gets pressure. And it's dropped.
Oh,
That one should have been caught. Intended for Riddell Anthony.
there's a flag on the field.
So holding against Tampa Bay. Mark Royals, who kicked the last 2 seasons for New Orleans, now kicking for Tampa Bay, kicks it away to Eddie Kennison at the 41. Kennison broke a couple of tackles. Is out of bounds in Tampa Bay territory. Ball be spotted at midfield as the Bucs get the ball after a 43-yard punt. In this instance, it doesn't look like they got it right.
Well, you know, like you said before, the system isn't perfect, and there's no question that everybody involved in this blew this call for him. And what's going to happen is Mike's going to get a phone call Monday from the league office, say, you know what, we made a mistake. That wasn't an interception, we blew it.
But the Saints have the ball for the second time, this time at midfield, with Ricky Williams and Aaron Craver in the backfield. Josh Wilcox is starting at tight end. Cam Cleveland is in uniform. And the double reverse, and Eddie Kennison takes it wide. Donnie Abraham shoves him out of bounds at the 46, a pickup of 4 on the play. Pick out the New Orleans Saints on offense. Billy Joe Tolliver starting. Barber and Abraham, the corners. John Lynch, one of the great hitters, strong safety. Damian Robinson, the free safety.
And they're an angry group because they went up to Detroit last week and gave up more big runs in one game than I've seen them give up in the season.
Tolliver checking off at the line. Is pointing at Lynch. Lynch has come up to the line of scrimmage and is blitzing. They pick it up. Tolliver gets rid of it. And it is complete to Brett Besh at the 24-yard line. First down, New Orleans.
And when you play a lot of 8-man fronts, this is what Tolliver has to do. He was successful here. This is how you get them out of an 8-man front. Watch it. See? There's your safety up with your 3 linebackers. That's 8 now. Tolliver notices the 8, checks out of it into a pass, and the line does a nice job with the back staying in. Look at the time he had. That's picking up the rush and delivering the ball. That's how you get, now you get the safety back out of there. That's a game you have to play, but you need a quarterback to get it done.
Saints have called timeout. A little confusion in the huddle as to what they wanted to call. Timeout on the field, 8:54 to go. First quarter, no score in the game. Under Monty Kiffin, who was unhappy with his defense last week for allowing Detroit to run the ball on them. Ronde Barber's on the sideline. Looks like he twisted his right ankle. Brian Kelly, number 25, has replaced him. Now Barber, it seems like he's close to returning. But Kelly is in right now. First down for the Saints to toss to Ricky Williams. And Williams gets a short gain on the play. Down about the 21-yard line. Damian Robinson, the free safety, took him out.
You know, the last few weeks, New Orleans Saints have been trying to get the ball to the perimeter, Ricky Williams. And you like to get it outside because then you have big Ricky Williams matched up against little safeties and corners. But with the team speed of the Buccaneers, look at them coming. That's defensive lineman out there. That's Culpepper. That's Seth. That is speed. That's hard to get the corner on the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Ricky Williams has rushed for 290 yards the last 2 weeks. Last week, 179 against the Cleveland Browns. Lynch is coming again. Tolliver gets rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Keith Poole. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Saints, who've already have 2 timeouts charged to them. One for the challenge, which was not upheld, and one that they called moments ago. Billy Joe Hobart on the sideline. He threw the ball some yesterday, threw again today in pregame warm-ups. They're afraid of him taking a hit. He's had nerve problems where his arm would just go dead on him. 3 wide receivers in for the Saints. Tolliver steps up and runs again. And he's got another first down as he is down at the 7-yard line. Second run for a first down by Billy Joe Tolliver. Derek Brooks finally took him down. Mike Ditka is the man calling the plays for the Saints today, but he didn't call that one.
And they're opening it up a little bit more. They're throwing the ball. Remember last week they ran over 40 times, but the key thing is that 2 of Tolliver's runs have converted 3rd downs. And that's the key that they have to do is convert on 3rd down, no matter how they do it. If the pass is covered up outside, Tolliver's got to find a way. He's been doing that.
On 1st and goal, Ricky Williams looking for his first touchdown in the NFL, first rushing touchdown. He gets no gain on the play. Stopped at the 8-yard line. Saints have not been good in the red zone, inside the 20-yard line.
And this is an area down here where a healthy Cam Cleveland is important. Cam Cleveland really controls the middle of the field when he's healthy, but he's a guy that's been nicked up over and over and over again. He's got really quick feet, and he's got a tall body.
On 2nd and goal, Lynch was there. Stopped him for a loss. Stopped Ricky Williams in his tracks. Boy, did Lynch break through in a hurry.
Saints have got to find a way to get him blocked.
Well, you know, when they line up in that eye back set, watch, I want you to take a look. When they are dead eye in the backfield here, it's pretty much, you know, it's going to be run. And they like to run the lead with the fullback leading up. But look at Lynch. He is unblocked because he is the extra man up around the line of scrimmage.
2 tackles already for John Lynch. Here's 3rd and goal at the 10. Lamar Smith is in the backfield for the Saints, who have 4 wide receivers in. Everybody out. Tolliver gets time outside of Lamar Smith. Hit immediately. Bounces off Donnie Abraham, and then the rest of the Bucs take him down for a loss. An excellent defensive stand by the Bucs inside their 10-yard line.
Well, they used their aggressiveness with the 8-man fronts. They used their speed to get to the corner. Now watch them close here again. They're giving the underneath, and watch the guys fill. When you get down there around the end zone area, and that all they have is a check down, you want to make them do 1 or 2 things. You want to make them throw it over top of you, and if that's not there, anything underneath you converge on.
Doug Bryan, 10 for 13 this season, 29-yard attempt out of Tommy Barnhart's hold is right through. And the New Orleans Saints have gotten on the board first. Tampa Bay Bucs have not won a game this season when their opposition has scored first. Saints lead 3-0.
Doing there, Bill. That's the most talented thing on the field down there. The dog is great. The dog, when they kick off, the dog runs out there and gets the tee and comes back. That's Blue the dog. You remember Blue was down with the old Houston Oilers.
Houston, that's right.
That's right. When Houston lost their team, Blue was hungry for a team. He loves teeth. So they shipped him over to New Orleans, and now he's the tee fetcher for New Orleans Saints.
There you go. Good job. The Bucs will receive, trailing 3-0. Joe Murphy is deep. Joe Murphy's 55-yard return of Doug Bryan's first kickoff was the longest return for the Bucs this season. 12-play scoring drive for the Saints, ending in Bryan's field goal. And he kicks it off now. Murphy comes up, takes it at the 7. Got some wedge blocking, but this time got knocked down around the 25-yard line. There goes Blue. Watch this.
Blue, wait, we passed the Blue. There it is. All right.
He took it wide.
Good, I like it. Now watch what Blue does. See, this is what Blue. No! And a high five! I'm going to tell you, Sam, for some treats, I'd run out there and get the treats. I'd go get the treats.
What kind of treats?
Turducken? Little turducken up there?
Bucs, third possession. They were 3 and out last time. Allstott hit for a loss. Good penetration by the Saints. Time for another NFL update. Let's go back to our studios at JB.
Salmon touchdown and the victory. They're now 6-2 atop the NFC Central. Hey, Sam and Bill, we have Terry trained as well. Fellas, back to you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of treats did you give them?
2nd and 12 for the Bucs. Warwick Dunn goes in motion. They throw the screen to Allstott, picks up a couple of blocks, and turns it into a good gain up to the 43. A first down for Tampa Bay. Make that the 38-yard line. Pick up a 15 on the play.
You know, this is a frustrating play for a defensive lineman. Watch, here's Wayne Martin, and he gets set up, and they let him go. You let him go. Dilfer waits till the last second to get that ball off. As a defensive lineman, you're thinking, it's a sack. I've got him. And actually, the whole time, then you realize you're just a big dummy because you were just set up.
A good play for the Bucs up to the 38-yard line. Dilfer wants to go deep. Way down for Chuckway Green. Touchdown!
Look at Dilfer. Is he happy?
That is his moment. He beat Ashley Ambrose, did Jacquez Green. 62-yard touchdown pass from Dilfer to Green, the longest play of the season for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Wow, that was picture perfect. So Trent Dilfer, who said to us this week, what can they do to me? Bench me?
Yeah, and that's the attitude you have to have when something like that happens. The worst thing happen. So now there's nothing worse than happening. Hey, what are they going to do? Bench me? You know, it already happened. No big deal now.
Huge lift for the Bucs to see that. Martin Gramatica will try the extra point out of Mark Royal's hold, and the Bucs have quickly come back to take the lead. Dilfer throws the bomb, and Jacquez Green is there to grab it.
Watch this. Eye back, so they're thinking run game. They bring the safety up in here. It's an 8-man front. That's a cover 3 deep here. And what happens is there's no help. There's no help over the top with Willie Clay. Ashley Ambrose thought he had some help back there. He was just outrun by Jacquez Green. Here's Dilfer. He's looking all the time. Nice job by the line up front. You can see with Green's speed outside, Ashley Ambrose, that power running game, you get in the eye back, Sam, and you're thinking 8-man front to stop all stock.
6th touchdown pass thrown by Trent Dilfer, make it 7th, and the first touchdown reception for Jacquez Green. First Tampa Bay touchdown in 9 quarters.
Nothing conservative about that.
No, Brett Besh takes the short kickoff. They fake the reverse, and Besh is brought down at the 23-yard line. Robbie Abdullah made the tackle. Tonight, the wait is over. The fall's biggest event is coming. Don't miss the most anticipated premiere of the new season, The X-Files. Tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Season premiere.
Sam Rosen, Bill Moss at the Superdome, where the New Orleans Saints scored first. Got to the 7-yard line, but were stopped, settled for a field goal, and then Tampa Bay answering back. Ricky Williams carries. Gini Ahanatu, number 72, in on the tackle as Williams picks up about 5 on the play.
The one thing about Ricky Williams is he's getting healthy, Sam. Now, the Tampa Bay stacking the line on him, but you can see he's not wearing that elbow pad anymore where he had the hyperextended elbow. See, it's not there anymore. He wore that for a long time. His ankle is feeling better. And in the last 2 weeks, it's now contributed to him rushing over 100 yards.
They stopped the play. Be a false start against the New Orleans Saints.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Mike Halpin, man who was a defensive lineman with the Tennessee Oilers before they became the Titans, and then was switched to offensive line, played in NFL Europe, and learned to be an offensive lineman.
He was over there all spring. I saw him. He was playing for the Rhine Fire over there, and actually he made all-league. He came into training camp, had a good training camp. That's been inactive, though, for 5 weeks.
2nd and 10, playing for the injured Wally Williams, who's out with a bulging disc in his neck. Big hit. Derek Brooks with a big hit on Ricky Williams.
You know, we were just talking about Halpin, and I want you to take a look at the 2 guards. Ackerman's new in here, too. Here's Halpin, and he's got to block Sapp, and he's got to block Culpepper. They do a nice job of giving Tolliver some time here. See, they've got them all bound up inside there. That's some time picking up the twist. Derek Brooks is fast.
Oh, he closes. The tight end, Cam Cleland, has come all the way to the right side, and now he comes back in motion. On 3rd down, Tolliver play fake, being chased by Culpepper, gets rid of it out of bounds, incomplete. Good pressure that time by Brad Culpepper.
You know, it's up to the Saints receivers that if they're going to stack the line and do everything to take away the running game they have, now it's time for the other aspect of your offense to take over. The receivers have got to get open.
Jacquez Green is deep for Tampa Bay. Tommy Barnhart, who punted for the Bucs last season, has not gotten a lot of yardage, but they haven't returned many on him. 3rd fewest return yards against Tommy Barnhart. Good high kick. Jacquez Green, late wave for the fair catch at the 28-yard line. 4.5 seconds hang time. Tampa Bay's offensive line had trouble with Detroit last Sunday.
Oh, they couldn't run block, Sam. They couldn't pass block. Zaire didn't have a chance to set up most of the time. Pressure was right in his face. 5 sacks. And that's key. And talking with the offensive line, Jerry Wundt was telling us, they've taken the responsibility on themselves. They've come under a lot of criticism. He said he and Middleton practiced extra hard being jerks this week. I said, you had to practice doing that? He said, yeah, we want to be like that all the time. Play this game with an attitude. Hope everyone catches on to it.
Allstott on first down. Busts through the middle. Gets about 4 on the play up to the 33-yard line. The middle linebacker, Chris Bordano, made the tackle. Allstott is leading the team in rushing. Surprisingly, Warwick Dunn is leading the team in pass receiving.
So that's a nice package they have when they have Allstott as the tailback and the tight end is Patrick Haight. But they line Haight up right here as a fullback. And what that is, that's 2 big backs in the backfield coming downhill at you.
3 tight end formation. Allstott pulls his way up to the 36 for another 3 yards on the play. It'll be a 3rd and 3.
Well, they get in that eye, and there's a lot of things they can do from it because Haight can go out to tight end. They can split people out, but it's 2 big backs. Remember last year they had Lorenzo Neal, and they called it the Rhino package. Well, when he left, now they needed Haight to be the big back. And see, that's just pounding a defense. That's lining up. That's big guy and big guy, and Allstott can find the hole or make a hole if the hole's not there. That's why you're not seeing as much of Warwick Dunn. Although he's in the game right now, when they use him here, they like to throw the ball to him outside.
6 defensive backs in for the Saints. 3rd and 3, Dunn carrying. He was tripped up. He's fighting his way toward the first down marker. Ashley Ambrose with the first hit. And the Saints may have pulled him back just short of a first down. Warwick Dunn says he just hasn't been able to get into the flow in his running game.
Yeah, he's disappointed. He wants to carry the ball 20, 25 times a game, and that's just not the case. And they haven't been able to do that primarily because they haven't been able to get the holes up front. The offensive line has not done a good enough job of opening up the holes for Warwick Dunn. So his touches have been less. And so when he gets them, he's always trying to make something happen big.
He just got enough for the first down. The spot is a good one.
Being driven back. First down.
They give him forward progress, enough for a first down at the 39. And we have come to the end of the first quarter. Mike Ditka got a bad call on a replay. The Saints were inside the Bucs 10, settled for a field goal. The Bucs got the 62-yard touchdown and lead 7-3 into the first.
And Blue got a treat.
New Orleans, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the New Orleans Saints 7-3, and already we had some wild plays in that first quarter.
Some wild plays, but down the Big Easy, I find it to be the Big Greasy, Sam. I've eaten
why
enough
is that?
grease this weekend to last me a month. I'm not kidding you.
Every time I looked up, you're eating something.
Right.
Dunn goes in motion on first down. Gets rid of it quickly, and he completes to the tight end, Dave Moore. Dave Moore had 8 catches in the first 4 games. Has had only 2 in the last 3 games coming into today's action, but he takes the short pass from Trent Dilfer.
They usually use him around the end zone. You know, 10 receptions, that's probably 11. He has 2 touchdowns. That's where they like to find Dave Moore because they hit the play-action pass, and everybody's stacking the line for Allstott. They flip him out.
Riddell Anthony up top going against his former teammate Fred Weary. They go inside with Allstott, and he is shoved back. Good work inside by the New Orleans Saints. Brady Smith led the way. Brady Smith with the tackle.
But Brady's got a lot of playing time this year, number 91, because Joe Johnson's been out, and he's really stepped up. Watch 91 slide down the line with Gruber. You know, that play is designed when you're on the outside shoulder. You're saying, well, why didn't Gruber block him? The play is designed to influence, to get him to come down, and what he did is he flattened behind the line of scrimmage like he should.
Here's 3rd and 3 with Allstott split out left. Dunn taking the pitch, and he's got a first down up near midfield. Bucs 3 for 4 now on 3rd down conversions. That's an important number for them.
Well, it sure is important for him, considering they're only about 32%. Watch Gruber out here. There's a down block by Moore, and then he comes outside and gets the kick out here on Ashley Ambrose.
And Allstott with a good block from the outside.
Bordano's got to attack that hole as soon as it opens up. He had a chance to make the stick and stop the first down. He's got to be able to do that.
They're short of midfield. Blitz coming. It's picked up. The throw outside is dropped by Riddell Anthony. And that's been a problem for the Bucs. Their receivers have been guilty of a lot of drop passes this season.
You know, when you struggle offensively, and the criticism that everybody associated with this offense has been under with Shula and Dilfer and the offensive line, everybody has to be accountable for your job. That is no excuse, and you really can't say much about it.
That ball's got to be caught. There's Jaquez Green, who caught the touchdown pass. Dilfer is 4 for 7 thus far. 2nd and 10. The delay to Dunn. And he pushes his way forward to the 46-yard line, where Wayne Martin made the tackle.
You know, the receivers, you take a look at the numbers here, and that touchdown, they're ranked 30th and last in 20-plus catches. Yards after the catch, runs after the catch, right here. They're 30th in the league. They get the ball, and these speedy receivers, Green, Riddell Anthony, these guys aren't making yards after the catch. With their speed, that's what they're brought in here for, with their speed and their athleticism. They've got to be able to get that ball and do something with it.
3 wide receivers for the Bucs, 6 defensive backs for the Saints. Dilfer moves back into the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. He goes deep, and it is caught.
It's a heck of a grab.
Darnell McDonald with a beautiful catch. The rookie out of Kansas State. And Dilfer trots down and cheers him on. 23-yard pickup.
Darnell McDonald working on Fred Weary, and they knew they could go at Fred Weary. Xavier Urelian, the defensive coordinator, said, now I know they're going to come out and they're going to try to go at Fred.
Well, we thought it'd be the Florida guys that would go at Fred.
You know, they changed up on him there a little bit. They had to rotate. Heck, Anthony drops the ball, so then you got to bring in the other guy.
10th play of this drive. Dilfer being chased. Stays on his feet and turns it into a gain. He got away from Jared Tomich, who almost got him by the ankles, and a good job by Dilfer as he crosses the 20-yard line.
This is a bootleg out of the backfield. They fake the handoff, and then Dilfer rolls out naked. But you can see what I'm talking about as far as the receivers not being able to get open. You've got to be accountable for what you do.
Looked like Jaquez was open there.
But here's the pressure back here on Dilfer on the naked bootleg.
2 tight ends in for the Bucs.
The safety was over the top in the middle of the field on that.
Warwick Dunn. Oh, big hit by Wayne Martin.
That ball
the ball went loose, and it's picked up by the Saints. And this is a touchdown for Fred Weary. What a turn. The Florida man, Fred Weary. A 76-yard return.
Now, what you want to do right here, right now, you want to get the PAT out there on the field and kick this thing before there's a challenge to review. Get out there, line up, and kick this ball as fast as you possibly can.
Tony Dungy's looking up at the scoreboard, hoping to see
line
the
up and
Jumbotron, hoping to see a replay. He's wondering whether to review this or not, and now
here it comes. You got to get out there and get the PAT.
Challenge the ruling on the field.
Here's the challenge. Tony Dungy has not been successful this season.
No, he's over on challenges. And he was looking at the Jumbotron. He was looking around to see. But his coaches have to be able to see this from upstairs.
There's the hit.
He's down. He's down.
Tampa Bay is challenged that the runner was down by contact before the fumble, and also that the lateral was forward.
That's a nice wrap by Wayne Martin. Wart Dunn appears to be down.
Wayne Martin, a great play.
Watch him flat down the line of scrimmage. His 136 start.
And it looks like he was down, and the ball is lateral. I don't know if that was forward or not.
It's hard to tell from that angle there.
Sammy Knight was the man who came up with it, lateraled it to Fred Weary, who took it down with Dilfer chasing. And Hockley ducking under to look at the replays.
See, that's why it's so important to be able to get the next play off. I mean, that has to be an aspect that you have to develop in your game plan in each and every week.
Well, last week, it certainly hurt Tampa Bay when they didn't get an extra point off and they had a play challenge that cost them a touchdown.
No, he looks good. The lateral was
lateral
fine
is fine.
Yeah, it did. You're right. Last week, it cost Tony because they were unable to get the PAT off. They took the delay of game, and then the other team challenged, Detroit challenged, and then they reversed the call on them. But New Orleans and the teams around the league have to learn on this, especially if you're on turnover plays or anytime you score outside, I believe, the 20-yard line, anything big you score on that, I think right away you've got to be able to hustle your PAT team after.
90 seconds is the time allowed. Earlier, a challenge by the New Orleans Saints was not upheld, and they lost the timeout. Here's Ed Hockley coming out with his ruling on the play.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact before the ball was fumbled. Therefore, it returns to that spot. It's Tampa Bay's ball. It'll be third down. Please reset the clock to 10:50. 10:50 on the clock.
How about
Tampa
the
Bay
guys
is
on
not
the
charged
sideline?
with a timeout.
The guys on the sidelines were congratulating Tony Dungy.
Finally, he got one. That's the first one he's gotten. No timeout charge to Tampa Bay. The Bucs retain possession of the ball. It remains an outstanding play by Wayne Martin. Nevertheless, he made a terrific play on Warwick Dunn.
Tony's got both calls, in essence. He's having a good day today with the replay.
Right. If you joined us late, there was an interception in the end zone by Rondé Barber, and it appeared from our replays that the ball actually bounced out and hit the ground. The challenge was not upheld. The play, as called on the field, stood as an interception for Tampa Bay.
You know, I think this is tough defensively. You just make a big play like that, you get that adrenaline surge going, you think you scored a touchdown, and now you come back and you're almost in your own red zone backed up.
3rd and 10 for the Bucs. Dilfer getting time, completes it to Jacquez Green, short of a first down. Stopped at the 19-yard line. And they moved it up to the 17. Keith Mitchell made the tackle on Jacquez Green.
And that's what we would go back to that we were talking about, the yards after the catch.
Right.
When they get those fast, speedy guys underneath, they've got to be able to use their shiftiness and quickness to be able to pick some things up.
Gramatica, the rookie out of Kansas State, made his first 10 field goal attempts this season. He's 2 for his last 5 with 2 misses and 1 block. Royals will hold. It'll be a 35-yard attempt. And Gramatica puts it through. Martin Gramatica kicks the field goal. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a 10-3 lead. The Superdome in New Orleans, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with maybe their season hanging in the balance at 3-4, they need a win to stay alive in the NFC Central and keep their playoff hopes alive. They'll play 5 home games in their final 8 in the second half. Gramatica kicking off. Troy Davis at the 3. There's a lane for him. Cut it back up the middle. Drop the ball. Recovered by Gramatica. Martin Gramatica with his first fumble recovery.
He did the smart thing too, Sam. He didn't try to run with it.
Don Davis forced the fumble with a big hit on Troy Davis. No relation.
You're going to see Davis come into the picture right here. And that ball's out. And Gramatica, look, he just takes it and says, look at all those big bodies. I'm going down.
Duck, baby. Gramatica saw it, picked it up, good hands. And it's Tampa Bay ball on the turnover. So the Bucs, who have not been good with takeaways, have officially 2. The one interception, the questionable interception for Rondé Barber, and now the fumble recovery. On the end around, oh, they read it beautifully. Wayne Martin right there to stop Jaquez Green. Great play by Wayne Martin.
Oh, the tackles are the strength of their defense up front. Glover and Martin are really good players.
Wayne Martin, 11 years in the league, all with the New Orleans Saints.
Take a look at Martin. He doesn't get fooled on this. He doesn't fight on it. Here he is right here. And he doesn't fight on this. He just stays upfield, and he stays. Because he is the outside contained, and he didn't let anything get outside him.
Empty backfield for Tampa Bay. The backs, Dunn and Alstott, are split out. Dilfer completes to Jaquez Green. Down to the 34-yard line. A couple of yards short of a first down.
Well, they take Moore and Alstott outside in that empty backfield set, which a lot of teams you're seeing going to. You know, and how you counter that is you blitz it. I say you blitz the empty backfield and put all the pressure you can on your quarterback and let the chips fall as they may. Because if you don't and he has time up front, somebody's going to get open because you have 5 receivers.
13-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 2 for Tampa Bay. Alstott is split out. Everybody out of the backfield. Dilfer completes to Warwick Dunn. Tiptoes the sideline down to the 20-yard line. A first down for Tampa Bay. Ashley Ambrose finally took him out. 14-yard pickup, and the Bucs another 3rd down conversion.
Well, that's just a little rollout pass by Dilfer as he rolls to the sideline. Little sprint action. You see him sprinting out. And there's Dunn. Nice thrown ball on the run. And look at him walk the tightrope. He's out back there. He was actually stepped his foot out of bounds about 3 yards back.
Incaliaga has limped off to the sideline for New Orleans. Alstott carrying. Push through the middle and down to the 12-yard line. Keith Mitchell, making Kevin Mitchell, who replaced Aliaga, made the tackle.
Well, I want you to watch this lead block. This is pretty nice. This is the big backset I said talking about. Watch number 82, Hayes. He blows that hole open. Look at the bodies flying off the block by Hayes. And if you have Hayes coming at you, and then you have Alstott's enough by himself.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's an offensive lineman there or anybody. Just him running alone is enough.
3 tight ends in with Hayes lined up as the fullback on 2nd and 2. It's Alstott on the power, pushing his way toward the first down marker at the 10-yard line. And we'll see where the spot is.
Saints are saying it's their ball.
The officials are ruling it was down. It's 3rd
The
down.
runner's forward progress was stopped before the ball came loose. It's 3rd down.
Sometimes Alstott just likes to punish you. It just because it changes the complexion of your defense. Right here, he's just punishing you. There's some places he could have bounced it out to the right a little bit and got an extra yard or two, but he wants to make you hurt because that eventually is going to soften it up.
3rd and inches, and it's Alstott, and a first down to the 5-yard line. That time he jumps over would-be tacklers. That's Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, up in the booth. The man calling the plays.
Been under a lot of criticism, too.
Yes, he has.
You know, everybody's saying, what's wrong with the offense? How come? From my perspective, what's wrong with the offense is I don't think the offense has a true leader. I don't think they have anybody that's out there beating the chest saying, we are this, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is the way we're going to do it. The defense has staff and has the personality. The offense doesn't.
Alstott inside the 5, down close to the 2. Last 5 games, they've had only 1 touchdown, the Bucs, when they've been in the red zone. That's 12 possessions, only 1 touchdown. The ball's at the 2-yard line, 2nd and goal for Tampa Bay as the Bucs.
How about Booger McFarland
Yep.
is in the backfield. He's either going to be in the backfield or at the end position. They're lining Big Booger up at fullback. Is this going to be nice?
Out of LSU, Anthony McFarland, a defensive tackle by trade, leads the blocking for Alstott. He bounces off, but is short of the goal line. Stopped at the 1. You like that, don't you?
Hey, I like a guy named Booger, period. And then you take it from defense, you throw him in the backfield, watch him right here, and he's going to get the lead up on the backer.
Now, why him instead of Hape? Hape was doing a pretty good job.
He's got to lower his shoulder. He's got to lower 300 pounds. Habe's only around 250. But he's not used to blocking either. See, he came outside, and you saw the hit he got on the linebacker. He's got to keep his feet turning. He's got to keep his head down a little and keep his feet turning. He stopped his feet on contact.
It's a little over a yard away. 3 tight ends in. There goes Dave Moore in motion.
Watch the play action. Here it is.
Dilfer throws. John Davis. Touchdown. The tight end, John Davis, one of 3 in the lineup. Ape was in as well. They had everybody. They had all the big bodies in. 3 tight ends and McFarland.
They had all the decoys in. That's what it was. That's what it came out to. They line up in big personnel. You run one play with Big Booger, and then you line Booger up again, and you're thinking, uh-oh, let's buckle down. And then bang, here's the play action, and right over the top, and nobody picks up the tight end.
So the Bucs, with the defensive rookie, Anthony Booger McFarland, doing some blocking.
I love Booger.
The Bucs score. And Grammatica with the extra point. And with 4:27 to go in the first half, the Bucs have scored over 20 points only one time this season, have 17 already in the first half.
He gets sucked inside. He's supposed to be back out over here covering the tight end.
First catch of the season for John Davis. And it's a touchdown, his 2nd career touchdown, his 6th career catch. This is his 3rd season. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now with a 17-3 lead. Grammatica to kick off. Troy Davis at the 3. Davis hops over a man, got hit at the 25, falls forward to the 26-yard line. For Tony Dungy, things looking good as his offense has produced some points. The part of the Saints on the sideline, their defense has not been able to hold the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Ditka comes back to talk to his secondary. He's talking with Chris Hewitt there.
Well, they had the fumble, and then they had that touchdown call back.
Ricky Williams breaks the tackle. Good pickup for Ricky Williams. Had just 2 yards on 5 carries coming into this series. Donnie Abraham made the stop.
Oh, this is one of their favorite plays, is getting to the perimeter outside with Ricky Williams. They stretch, it's a stretch play to the outside, 28 stretch, and they get the guard out there in front of him, Ackerman, some linemen downfield, and they let Ricky either slash or just blow up any defensive back that comes in his way.
Saints now have 60 yards total on offense in the first half. Williams tries the left side, and he bounces off people and gets up near midfield. John Lynch wrapped him up at the 48-yard line.
Well, they line up, and you know what they're going to do. They're going to run. Now, I want you to watch Lynch. Lynch is going to come into the picture right about in here and get caught up in here. Here he is. See him right here? He gets caught up. Now they get the corner outside. If you get the blocking up front on the corner, you see Halpin was out there working.
You get that, on Lynch.
Yeah, you get that corner, you get that turn. You got Marcus Jones outside there.
2nd and short. Ricky Williams again. Well, it looks like the Saints have gone back to the Ricky Williams offense. 3 consecutive carries, and they've got 2 first downs, and they're in Tampa Bay territory.
And that's a smart thing to do for Coach Ditka. You know, stay with your game plan. If you think it was at 17-3 and you had a couple bad breaks, things didn't go your way, then now I'm going to just drop back Billy Joe Tolliver and throw the ball. That's a bigger mistake. Stay with this. Stay with your game plan. Run Ricky Williams. Get the play action going. Hit your tight end in the middle of the field.
Bucs going with 5 defensive backs in the lineup. Here's Williams again, and this time maybe a yard. Warren Sapp made the tackle. Warren Sapp missed 1 game a couple of weeks ago. He's been playing with a sore hand, hasn't he, Bill?
Yeah, and, you know, I don't think, you know, I know Warren. He's going to line up and play. But I don't think his hand is 100%, and I don't think anybody's 100% at this point in the season. But when I see him throw his hands inside, he's not throwing them in with the authority to get rid of somebody like he normally does.
2-minute warning with Tampa Bay leading New Orleans 17-3. Tolliver got rushed, almost intercepted. Brian Kelly closed quickly. The pass intended for Keith Poole almost picked it off.
Well, you can see, you know, the turnovers have been a problem for Billy Joe Turnover.
Oh.
You know, and he's given up 11. He's had 11 turnovers already, Sam. And then one in the game, which really wasn't, but he got another one. That's 12 to his credit, and he's got to be real careful when he's throwing the ball across the field. He has to know where the corners are if he's going to throw that out.
3rd and 8 for the Saints, who have only one timeout remaining. Blitz coming. It's picked up. Tolliver fires and completes.
Nice ball.
First down. Andre Hastings with a reception at the 32-yard line.
And nice blitz pickup by Ricky Williams. And, you know, last night before the game, Coach Ditka showed his team a highlight film of Walter Payton to exemplify what kind of player he was and how that he withstood the duration. Basically sending a message, look, guys, no matter where we are, we're 1-6, you got to battle through and keep battling.
3 wide receivers, and Cam Cleland split out as well. Everybody out. Tolliver in trouble. Gets rid of it to Ricky Williams. Then he dropped it. There were 2 men there waiting for him. But Williams, you can see, a little upset with himself. Sapp and Culpepper all over Tolliver.
Well, he had Ricky right now. Ricky's there. In the middle of the pocket, you see the 2 tackles closing. Once you get that push up into the face of the quarterback. You know, the outside rush, if you rush outside, that doesn't really affect the quarterback. But when it comes right directly in his eyes, that's when it gets, everything just falls apart for the quarterback.
And the play never gets started. Flags fly. The tackle came flying across. And let's see what the call is here. 1:12 remaining in the first half. Sapp wants it to be a false start. Still further discussion here.
Encroachment, defense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Brad Culpepper, the man called for jumping across. Ball moved down to the 26-yard line, just short of the 26.
You know, for the most part, Culpepper and Sapp's name have not been called a lot today. You know, normally you do a game, you're calling Sapp's name every other play. Teams are on defense. These 2 guards, Ackerman and Hallepin, have done a nice job.
Inside, Ricky Williams gets a first down. At the 21-yard line, they move the chains. Hurry up offense for the Saints with a minute to go. They have only one timeout remaining. Tolliver trying to get everybody set in the right position. 3 wide receivers, and Cleland split to the right. Tolliver over the middle for Cleland. Incomplete. Looks like he had a chance. Nickerson and Lynch were there for the Bucs.
Well, that was Lynch that broke it. Watch Lynch time this play perfectly. He gets there right when the ball's there. It's almost in the hands of Cleland, and Lynch just comes over the top of his hands and knocks the ball out. Excellent play, John Lynch. I mean, that's timing it perfect. Because, look, he's over here helping out, and he's got to come back to the middle of the field. You talk about great safety play.
2nd and 10 for the Saints with 44 seconds to go in the half. The blitz on. He got hit as he threw into the end zone. It was caught, but Kennison may have been out of bounds. He was. Great catch by Eddie Kennison, but he was out of bounds. Donnie Abraham covering on the play for Tampa Bay. Look at this grab. But he was out, definitely. Brings up 3rd and long. As you take another look. No question about his being out of bounds. And here's 3rd and 10 for New Orleans. Ricky Williams in the backfield with Billy Joe Tolliver. Everybody out. Tolliver being rushed. Threw it behind Cam Cleland. There was outside pressure on Billy Joe Tolliver, and he threw it a little behind the tight end. So Doug Bryan will come on to attempt a field goal.
Well, they ran a little stunt in a four-man rush. You see the twist and stunts, and here comes the pressure outside by Sapp, but he had plenty of time to make that throw. He was set up in the pocket and he has time to deliver that throw. That's just a poorly thrown ball.
Doug Bryan will attempt from 39 yards. Tommy Barnhart the hold, and the kick is true. 2 field goals for Doug Bryan. That's all the points the Saints have. They cut into the Bucs lead. It's 17-6. Bryan kicking off. Yo Murphy, who had a 55-yard return earlier, takes it out. Went outside of the blocking and gets up to the 24, and a flag comes in. Ed Hockley threw the flag. He called a holding on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the return. .24 seconds to go in the first half.
Holding by the receiving team, number 44, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ed Hockley, you know he's going to enforce that holding penalty. Every game we've done with him, he's very strict on the holding. And the officials told all the teams this year, prior to training camp, what the new holding rule is. If the hands are get outside the framework of the shoulder pad, they've got to immediately come back inside. They can't stay out there and work their way back in like last year. They've got to immediately come back, and if they don't, it's going to be called holding, and it'll be called anywhere.
Bucs are just going to take a knee and protect here deep in their own territory, let the clock run out. And that'll be the end of the first half. But a good first half for Trent Dilfer. He hit the long bomb to Jaquez Green, 62 yards. He found tight end John Davis open for a touchdown pass. And the Bucs, with 17 points in the first half, have a 17-6 halftime lead. Coming up, Visa Halftime Report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports Ticker will have up to the second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. 14-6. Today is the day in which everyone is remembering Walter Payton, who passed away last Monday. It was against the New Orleans Saints in 1984 when he rushed for 154 yards and broke the all-time NFL rushing record.
High formation. Quick pitch to Walter. Looking for the record. Cuts back.
He's got it. He's got it on the 25 and the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown. Walter Payton, taken from his family and from all those who loved him at the age of 45, and he is remembered by everyone. Bill, you played against him. Give us some thoughts that you have about Walter Payton.
Well, you know, I remember, of course, playing against him just because of how great he was and the effort he displayed on the field. But you play against a lot of great players, Sam, but you don't play against a lot of great people. And I think him being a great person went all through the league. And I think that's why everybody was so affected by his death. The great thing is the legacy continues because his son, who gave the induction when he went into the Hall of Fame, and they had the press conference upon his death, this is a young man who is miles of maturity further along than he is his age-wise, and it shows the class and the character is still going to live on, and I think that's a great thing.
Down on the field is Jim Gallagher. He spoke with New Orleans Saints coach Mike Ditka moments ago.
Well, you know, we've gone in the last couple of weeks, except for the New York game, we go in leading at half. I think we can certainly come back and muster a comeback. Not so much what they're doing. The ball's bounced a little crazily on us a couple of times. We just got to take advantage of what they're doing. They're playing us for the run, and we got to be able to run it some and throw it some. That's what they're doing.
Good luck in the second half. Let's head back upstairs to Sam and Bill.
Matica kicking off, and it is returned up to the 26-yard line by Troy Davis. Take a look at the first half statistics, and the Saints able to rush the ball late with Ricky Williams, who ran for only 2 yards his first 5 carries, 32 yards his next 5 carries. But the total yardage, passing yards, 149. Trent Dilfer having a good day.
Yeah, he is. It came just like he told us it would come. We're going to take it to the deep shot, and he did. In the first quarter, bang, they come out and launch a deep one. He hooked up with Jaquez Green, and that gave them some confidence. And that's what that offense really needs is confidence.
Blitz coming with John Lynch. Tolliver hit as he throws, incomplete. Intended for Eddie Kennison. But John Lynch has been everywhere. There's Lynch blitzing and taking down Ricky Williams, stopping him in the backfield for a loss, and breaking up the pass intended for Cam Cleveland.
And if you talk about a game like the New Orleans Saints are playing, if there's one position on the field that's got to be key, it's the strong safety. Because he's up there as a linebacker in an 8-man front, and he's got to get back in the middle of the field in the deep half. He's having a great day so far.
Everybody out. Tolliver being rushed and finds Cam Cleveland. First down at the 41-yard line. So Cleveland, who did not start the game, starts the second half. He has had several injuries already this season.
Well, this is what they need to get going, the healthy tight end position in the middle of the field. When Cam Cleveland is healthy, he's been bothered by a number of injuries, but when he's healthy, he can dominate the middle of the field. His height at 6'4", you see his size too. He can post up like a basketball player on linebackers, and they can't get position on him.
His first catch of the game, Ricky Williams carrying, and is stopped by John Lynch.
You know, John Lynch leads a good life. You know that? I mean, he does. And this guy, he's a tough player. He's a good kid. He's just all around what you exemplify a professional athlete to be like he does. He exudes. You enjoy being around him. You enjoy conversing with him. And you love to watch him play.
One of the best strong safeties in the league. 3 wide receivers in for New Orleans. Ricky Williams takes it outside. Bucs have him and throw him for a loss.
Boy,
Good play. Derek Brooks just chased him down.
You talk about a fast man and a smart man. Derek Brooks got his master's degree in the offseason. You know, there's not many guys that will take the time to do that. He went out and got his master's degree. He said, God gave me the ability to be a good scholar. He says, I'm going to take advantage of it. And he's a good scholar on the football field, too. He reads his keys, and he uses his speed to close gaps and run down running backs. Love the way the guy plays.
See the numbers already. 7 tackles in the game. New Orleans 3 for 6 on third down conversions in the game. Got to get to the Bucs 49 for first down. Tolliver in trouble. Culpepper's got him. First sack of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their 24th of the season.
And they do it with 4 down linemen. Now watch. See how wide the tackles are out here? Now watch what they do. They run some twists, and that causes some confusion. See the stunt? Snap comes around. Culpepper comes around outside. So the tackles start inside, but as they rush, they work their way outside.
Tommy Barnhart's second punt, a good high kick. Fair catch. Jaquez Green at the 26. 4.8-second hang time. Barnhart does not get many returned. This 43-yard punt was not returned. And we've got a penalty, face mask, against the New Orleans Saints. Excuse me, against the Bucs. That's against the Bucs. Tony Dungy was against the Saints. Okay. And Mike Ditka looking on in wonderment as to what happened. Early second half, the Saints get 1 first down, unable to sustain the offense.
You know, Sam, Mike Ditka came out at halftime of that interview, and the way he talked, he really seemed calm. I think the past couple of weeks, the things that have gone on in his life outside of football alone, I mean, losing 2 games on Hail Mary passes is unheard
Personal
of.
foul, grabbing a face mask by the kicking team. Number 52, the 15-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
That's Vincent Smith, the man called. We'll get back into your Mike Ditka story in a moment. Bill, we have to step out for these commercial messages.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Gotcha.
Well, we're not stepping away. They've got to kick it over. They are setting back the Saints to the 16-yard line. Jaquez Green is the man deep, and he's up around the 45-yard line. Tommy Barnhart got good height and hang time on the last one. And another fair catch called for by Green at the 45. Bucs with good field position. Little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Gerard Cherry and Dexter Jackson were involved. Timeout on the field. 38-yard punt for Tommy Barnhart.
Having a good time in New Orleans.
Was that the Village people?
Moments ago, that was Mike Ditka talking to Vincent Smith about the face mask penalty he took.
On a game like this, field position is so critical. On the special teams, you know, you've got a defensive battle, you're running the ball, and you give up 15 yards on a penalty like that.
Alstott on first down. Big gain. Out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Chased out by Keith Mitchell. So the Bucs' first possession starts off good field position. And Mike Alstott, who carried for 24 yards in the first half, with a good pickup of 18 yards.
If you're going to stop the Bucs, you have to stop the power O. This is their bread and butter play. See Middleton here? Now, he's pulling, and he has, I'm sorry, that's Diaz. He has a choice to make. He has to say, I'm either going to blow it up if the penetrator comes in, or I'm going to pull up. That time, he pulled up into the hole, but you've got to find a way to stop the power O. The Bucs, that's their favorite play.
Off the play fake. Dilfer being rushed. Hit. Lost the football. And the Saints have it. Jared Tomich forced the fumble. Brady Smith, number 91 right there, recovered it. Dilfer had time. No one was open. And he lost the ball on the hit.
Those guys, he was my first coach in the NFL, Tim. Walt Corey, when I was in Kansas City.
And he survived, huh?
Yeah, he survived. Well, remember, look, he's chewing on the twizzle stick, too. Remember in Buffalo, he used to defensive coordinator up there? He got the twizzle stick going.
11th fumble recovery of the season for the New Orleans Saints. They start from the 39. Tolliver under pressure. Finds Eddie Kennison to the 30-yard line. Donnie Abraham brought him down. Good pass and catch.
Well, this is just a little, watch this. Kennison comes down here and takes it right in here. Looks like a little post pattern right there. Right into the post. In between the safety and the corner. Never had a break stride, and Tolliver delivers a nice ball.
30 receptions on the season for Eddie Kennison, his first of the game. Williams going wide, and once again the Bucs stop it. And there's a flag down on the play in the backfield. Bucs really string out that sweep very well.
That's the speed of their defense.
Holding on the Saints.
You know, they tried a reverse once early in the game, and it was set up. It almost went. But with a team, when you have the speed of this defense, the way they fly to the ball, a reverse is a good call to use.
Holding by the offense, number 77. It's 10 yards enforced from the end of the run. Repeat first down.
It's on Willie Rope.
Heck, here's Willie right here, but, you know, they're backing him up. Willie's hands are outside. See, they're outside. See where they're at? And he doesn't work to get them back inside.
He was holding Steve White on the play.
No, the play went for minus yards, and I know they're closer to the end zone, but I would decline the penalty. I would make them go second and 13 rather than first and 20 again.
I think the Bucs are thinking that way too, but now the yardage is being marked off. And they spot the ball at the 40-yard line. Have to get to the 20 for a first down. 3 wide receivers in for the Saints. As Andre Hastings joins Keith Poole and Eddie Kennison. Lynch showing blitz. And flag fly.
That delay, the clock ran out.
Yeah.
Before the snap, ball start. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Followed on Eddie Kennison. And puts him back to the 45-yard line. Makes it first and 25. Fourth penalty of the game for the Saints. Oliver will work out of the shotgun. 6 for 15 in the game. Oliver steps up, and the pass broken up by Lynch.
Again, what a play by John Lynch, trailing Cam Cleveland. He came up, he walked up into the middle, faking blitz.
Intended for Cam Cleveland. Watch this again.
Lynch comes up, shows blitz, and comes all the way back across the field to cover the tight end. See him trailing, you see him running to play catch-up. Times that perfect.
He has been making plays throughout the game. We're talking about a Pro Bowl performer here.
He covered a lot of yards on that pass right there.
On 2nd and 25. Intercepted. Derek Brooks is brought down at the 25-yard line. The third takeaway of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I bet you see Danny Werfel in that series. That was just a poorly thrown ball. It was actually in the double coverage. Wait till you see Brooks. Brooks just waits on this. Watch you see him. He drops back in the flat, and there it is right there. Just steps right in front of the ball. Nickerson already has him on the one side, and then Brooks steps in from the other side.
Good hand. Derek Brooks' third interception of the season. And the Bucs, who came into the game with the fewest takeaways in the league, just 6, have come up with 3, albeit one questionable when the replay was fouled up, but they got credit for an interception by Rondé Barber. Mitchell, number 50, is playing for the injured Ink Aliaga, made the tackle, and Aliaga is playing for the injured Mark Fields, who they hope to have back next week. Fields has been bothered by a back problem. Kevin Mitchell.
There's Kevin Mitchell out there. There's Keith Mitchell out there.
On 2nd down, the delay to Allstott. Pulls his way inside the 15-yard line. Good power by Mike Allstott. Sammy Knight made the tackle.
You know, talking with Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin, the one thing that they said their defense has to get better at is takeaways. Getting the ball back. And you see since Tony's been in Tampa Bay where they are. Much better success up in Minnesota, and only 1 touchdown off those takeaways. But coming into this game, they only had 6. That's an area that they needed to improve on, is taking the ball away. It's helping them today.
Allstott, 12th carry of the game. And this one is for no gain. Good stop by the Saints. Leroy Glover with the first hit on Allstott. 12 carries, 51 yards for Mike Allstott in the game. There's Leroy Glover, who played collegiately at San Diego State. Played a lot against Trent Dilfer, who was at Fresno State. Trent said we couldn't block him in college, and we can't block him in the pros.
But I'll tell you, Tony Mayberry, bad back and all, is having a good day, and he knows he's battling.
Empty backfield. The 2 running backs. Dunn splits left. Allstott is out right. Dilfer throws and completes to Riddell Anthony at the 10-yard line. His first reception of the game. With the exception of the fumble on the last possession, Dilfer has played a really strong game.
And he's had a lot of support today, too. I mean, he's been on. He threw that deep ball, very accurate, and it was a nice throw. But the whole offense is executing a little better. Everybody's picking it up a notch. Line's blocking better. They're running the ball better.
And again, they go empty backfield. 4 wide receivers in. They're 7 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. Here's 3rd and 5. Dilfer in trouble. Looking, throwing, and complete to Darnell McDonald. Touchdown. Third touchdown pass of the game thrown by Trent Dilfer. First NFL touchdown for Darnell McDonald.
That was a heck of a job by Dilfer there, making something out of nothing.
And McDonald is hugging that ball. No one will get that ball away from him.
Talk about a guy that's come in due to injuries to Bert Emanuel and Carl Williams. This guy comes in and had a nice day. He only had 5 receptions coming into this game.
Rookie out of Kansas State. In the The other rookie out of Kansas State, Martin Gramatica with the extra point. Big day for Trent Dilfer. 3 touchdown passes. He kept moving until someone came open, and he found Darnell McDonald.
The official. Now, a lot of people are going to think that this ball did not cross the plane of the goal line, but this plane right here goes on infinity, goes all the way around the universe back to the other side. And if his feet are in here and the ball crosses the goal line over here, that's why it's a touchdown. I want you to watch. Watch the ball, and it goes, see, that is a touchdown. And a lot of people didn't know that the plane of that goal line goes all the way around. It doesn't stop until it comes back to the other side. So that's why where that ball crossed, it looked like it was out of bounds, but it was on the other side, and his feet were in. That's why it's a touchdown.
A season-high 24 points scored by the Tampa Bay Bucs. Here's Wilmont Perry, his first kickoff return of the season. And he is stopped across the 20-yard line. Al Singleton, number 51, was there. So was Jamie Duncan, number 59. Saints go on offense in a moment.
Bubba Gump shrimp.
Is that right?
It's a treat. That's what they give Blue the dog when he runs out there and gets the tea. They get a shrimp.
Saints just short of their own 22. Billy Joe Tolliver still in. He's 6 for 17. He throws 2 interceptions. Tried to go screen, and he almost threw an interception. Derek Brooks almost picked it off and could have walked into the end zone. Tolliver is being booed badly here in the Superdome. Not having a good day. He's thrown 10 interceptions the last 5 games. That's Danny Werfel standing on the sideline. He's the backup.
The further he keeps backpedaling, the more telling that is that that's a screen.
Yeah.
When you backpedal, that's a screen. And Brooks read it, and he just ran to the back in the flat.
Now the Saints go empty backfield as Ricky Williams and Aaron Craver split out to either side. Tolliver going to Ricky Williams. Puts his head down. Well, he doesn't like to go out of bounds, does he? He just buries the head.
No, he likes to just lower his head and hit somebody.
Donnie Abraham is the man he hit and who took him down.
So back to what I was talking about with Mike Ditka when he came out during the halftime. He really looked solemn, kind of somber. You know, he talked to the reporter. He was nice to the reporter. You know, and I think it's a culmination of everything he's been through with Walter, with Payne Stewart, with his good friend Tom Landry sick, his best man in his wedding back in his pit days. The other end is in a hospital, just had surgery. He had to call him.
Tolliver quarterback sneak for a first down.
And I think he's realizing that, you know, there's a lot more important things.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've seen how emotional and up and down he can be and how the game, the wins and losses really take a toll on him. And he brought guys in to speak to his team. Last night, he had showed the Walter Payton thing. And just talking about perseverance. And this morning, he had a Vietnam POW come in and talk to the team about some of the things that this guy went through. He was at the Hanoi Hilton, and he stayed over there, and he was tortured and all the things. And it really makes you realize that, you know, yeah, we can overcome a lot of things.
Brings a little reality to the entire picture. Ricky Williams. Oh, good break of a tackle. Gets up across the 40. Good run by Ricky Williams.
Although, speaking of hostages, Ricky Williams has really been held a hostage by this Bucs defense. I mean, they've been around him all day long. He hasn't had the opportunity for many holes to break something open. There's a nice little pickup here for an apparent first down, but for the most part on the day, this Bucs defense, they've been homed in on him. And it's been that 8-man front and John Lynch up around the line of scrimmage that's really taken the toll on him.
They're measuring, and by an inch and a half, he picked up the first down. 14 carries, 41 yards for Ricky Williams. The Trent Dilfer's yardage versus the Saints. Ricky Williams came into today's game 5th in the NFC in rushing, 7th in the NFL. Marcus Jones is in at left defensive end, number 78. Steve White is on the right side. Tolliver fires for Kennison, incomplete. Threw it high. Donnie Abraham had him covered on the play.
And the fans aren't real thrilled with Billy Joe right now.
Nope. Well, the Bucs came prepared to shut down the running game. They've controlled Ricky Williams, and Tolliver just can't get it done by himself. Steve White is playing on a sore ankle. 2nd and 10 for the Saints. The rush on, dropped it off to Ricky Williams, juggled it, gets up to the 45-yard line. Hardy Nickerson takes him down.
A lot's been talked about Ricky Williams and his hands. Fumbled and his knock coming out of college. His hands are too small. Here's a little screen to Ricky. Whoop. Not bad hand.
Stayed with it.
Stayed with it when he had a host of tacklers around him.
Fumbled 5 times this season, lost 4 of those 5. Saints 4 for 8 on 3rd down in the game. Have to get to the Bucs 48-yard line for 1st down. Blitz is on. Tolliver looking, nobody open, runs out of bounds, short of a 1st down. Out of bounds at the 47-yard line, chased by Brooks and Nickerson.
It's 3rd down, Sam. And you look at this, and yeah, Billy Joe's going to get some criticism for throwing his interceptions, but you look downfield, and it's 3rd down, and you're a wide receiver in the NFL. I'm sorry, this hats me off. But watch. Take a look at this.
What are you upset about here?
Does the guy have any place to throw the ball?
Okay.
There's absolutely nobody open, and you want to talk about your what's wrong with your offense, huh? You know, not all Billy Joe, right? As you mentioned before. He needs help out there.
Tommy Barnhart's 3rd punt of the game. There's been no returns on the first 2. Jacquez Green is deep, and he waits for a fair catch right away. Had some room there, decided to fair catch it at the 21-yard line. The Tampa Bay Bucs are in control. They have a big lead with 24-6.
He's not in the game, but he's counting special teams to make sure that there's 11 out there and not 12. You talk about a guy that's always in the game. I mean, that's heads up, they're down. He's not even on special teams, and he's counting out there to make sure his guys are okay. It's Keith Mitchell. His name's not even Keith. It's Clarence.
Who called him Keith?
His mom called him Kiki when he was growing up. He just said, I'll make it Keith.
On 1st down, Tilfer throws outside, incomplete. Intended for Riddell Anthony, who was going against Fred Weary.
Yeah, well, that was 2nd or 3rd drop ball by him.
Dropped at least 2. Going against his former Florida University teammate, Fred Weary. Great matchup. They had some rivalries in college. And, of course, their quarterback, Anthony and Jacquez Green, their quarterback was Danny Werfel at the University of Florida. He's on the sideline here for New Orleans. Trent Dilfer with a strong game. 2 tight ends in for the Bucs. Dave Moore goes in motion. And it's offside. No pickup as he shoved back. Good job inside by Zaven Urelian's defensive line.
Well, they know where it's going. That's why. Because you look at the formation, and as soon as you get one of the tight ends come off and go in motion, call a short motion, watch. Right here, here he comes. He lined up here, came back, lined up, went there, and back. And now you know they're going to go there. And look at the backers flying around in here. I mean, they just jump in the hole. They know where the ball's going. It's going to go to where the lead blocker is taking it.
It's 3rd and 9 for the Bucs. Saints have 6 defensive backs in. Dunn and Allstott in the backfield with Trent Dilfer. And the play is stopped. We get the call from Ed Hockley.
Delayed game by the offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Tony Dungy wants to come out of this game 4-4, not where they wanted to be at the midway point, but they'll take it knowing they'll still be in the hunt. The Detroit Lions with a big win over St. Louis today, now 6-2, and they are on top of the NFC Central, but the Packers lost again today. Minnesota's got a tough game against Dallas tomorrow night. Dilfer drops it off to Warwick Dunn. Picks up a couple of blocks. weaving his way upfield. Big gainer for Warrick Dunn. The leading receiver of the Tampa Bay Bucs is out of bounds up at the 46-yard line.
Now that's what you call a yard after the catch. That's what you want, having your big players make a big play for you. He sets himself up, and good runners do that. He gets you going one way and then plants back. The reason he starts a direction is to get you to go there. He sets his own holes, and when he does that, then he can find it and takes it up the sideline.
First down for Warrick Dunn. 27-yard pickup on the play. Up to the 44-yard line. 2 catches for 41 yards for Dunn. Takes it outside. Flag down in the backfield. They'll bring this one back. Short pickup. Wayne Martin with the tackle, but it's a hold against Tampa Bay.
Holding by the offense, number 40. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The Bucs have moved Todd Washington in at left guard. They have not been happy with the play of George or Jorge Diaz at left guard. It's been inconsistent at best. And Todd Washington, who is a natural center, has moved in at left guard. They want improved play at that position. Dunn shifts back to the top of the eye on 1st and 20. And it's Warrick Dunn. Gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Keith Mitchell made the stop.
Warrick Dunn has not gotten the carries this year as he has throughout the other years. But they are getting him the ball like we saw on the screen outside, trying to get him the ball in the flat and make something happen. But I believe that the reason he hasn't been getting the carries and they're forced to go with Allstott is because the offensive line hasn't produced big enough results. The holes haven't been good enough, and so Allstott has to create his own holes.
Draw play for Warrick Dunn.
As I say that, they create a nice hole right there for Warrick.
Gets back up across the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Mike Shula is doing a nice job of keeping New Orleans off balance. You know, you have the screen outside, and they come back with a power game. Now you let your defensive lineman get upfield, and look at the seam. And then look at the block down here. Look at that by Dave Moore getting to the 2nd level. You know, Shula, anytime this offense hasn't performed, everybody goes directly to Mike Shula. And really unjust. He glanced at us. Thanks, Mike. You knew we were talking about you. But, you know, everybody looks at him and faults him. And I don't believe he has anything to do with the lack of success and production for this offense.
Blitz coming. They pick it up. Dilfer goes long once again for Jacquez Green, incomplete. Covered on the play by Ashley Ambrose, who we beat in the first half for a 62-yard touchdown. Little acknowledgement from Ambrose that time I had you covered.
No, that was just that was on Dilfer. That was there. That was the same play before. It was there for him. The ball was just thrown to the outside. It was thrown to the sideline, and I think he hurt his left hand here when he threw this ball. Watch his left hand. He takes a shot right there by Troy Wilson, I believe.
All the way back. And Eddie Kennison.
What was that?
Calls for the fair catch. Dilfer's left hand is hurting. The backup quarterback is the rookie Sean King, who starred here in New Orleans at Tulane.
That's a mistake right there. You don't fair catch the ball inside the 10. There's a hit he got on his right hand.
That was Drakeford on the hit, Tyrone Drakeford. And here's Kennison inside the 5.
He doesn't know where he's at. He's just drifting and drifting and drifting. Look, see right there, he's banging himself in the head. He realized he started drifting, looking at that ball, not really knowing where he was on the field.
That's Sean King. And wasn't it interesting to hear Tony Dungy say he even thought about the possibility of putting Sean King in because he had so much success here in the Superdome when he played at Tulane. The Saints from their own 4-yard line, trailing 24-6. Oliver going deep for Keith Poole. He caught it but out of bounds. Brian Kelly covering on the play.
from where I was watching it sure looked like Brian Kelly had a handful of Keith Poole. Here's Keith Poole, here's Kelly. Now watch, when they get level to each other, watch his left hand right there.
A little illegal contact on the play.
Yeah, that's not bad. I
No?
thought it was a little bit more. I thought he had a
worse?
grab up. No, that's not bad.
All right.
That's good football.
Kelly replaced Rondé Barber early in the game. Barber suffered a bruised chin, tried to come back, but went to the sideline.
Timeout, Tampa Bay. That's their first charge timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
Bucs have called a timeout late in the third quarter. The Bucs strong defensively, first in the NFC, fourth in the NFL, and John Lynch has been the leader today.
Oh, he's been all over the field, and I think when you play that position in a game like this, that's when it's tough. Let's take a look and listen inside the world of John Lynch.
Zach, get the guy. Go. Come on, fellas. Come on. You got to suck it up because you're going right back out there. Let's go, Hardware. Let's see what we're made of. Let's see what we're made of.
Seventh year out of Stanford. Third-round draft pick in 1993, and he is one of the best.
You know, he's saying he's in hardware. That's Hardy Nickerson.
Yeah.
And he's playing like a linebacker today.
Tolliver on second down. Up it goes. Open man. Cam Cleveland. First down up the 28-yard line. Second catch of the game for the outstanding tight end, Cam Cleveland, who's been playing with a sore knee.
You know, we just heard John Lynch saying, let's go, Hardware, let's go. He's talking to Hardy Nickerson. And right there, Hardy Nickerson has Cam Cleveland. He has him in the middle of the field, and he's drifting with him, and he looks back at the quarterback. That's always a mistake. He glanced back at the quarterback, and that left enough room and separation for Cleveland.
That's the last play of the third quarter. The teams are changing ends. Cleveland limping a little bit after his second reception of the game. It was good for 24 yards. End of the third quarter. Tampa Bay 24, New Orleans 6. Dilfer with 3 touchdown passes.
That's amazing for him because as a guy that was benched, as a starter in this league, you're always thinking, how can I become the best player at my position in this league? And then you're demoted. You realize that now you're not good enough. And he comes back. He's got a second opportunity. And he's done an outstanding job with that second opportunity. And I think a lot of the reason is, Sam, he's loose.
On first down, Tolliver sends everybody out. Goes short and complete to Ricky Williams. Goes down hard. The ground caused the fumble. They'll whistle it down at the 36-yard line. Let's find out what happened to Trent Dilfer's left hand. Let's go downstairs to the sideline to Jim Gallagher.
Sam, Trent Dilfer did take a shot to that left hand, but it's okay. He will be back in the game in the next series for Tampa Bay.
There's that hit from Tyrone Drakeford. Lamar Smith has moved into the backfield after the hard tackle on Ricky Williams. He's being checked out on the sideline by the trainer. Smith takes it outside. First down for the Saints up to the 45-yard line. Brad Culpepper chased him down. Saints trailing 24-6. Go no huddle with 3 wide receivers. It's Cam Cleveland, the fine receiving tight end. Lamar Smith in the backfield. Tolliver steps up under pressure. Keith Poole cuts it inside and fights his way across the 45-yard line for a first down. His first reception of the game. Saints have been hurt by turnovers in the game. On their first possession, this should have been an incompleted pass. It was ruled an interception. Then the fumble on the kickoff return by Troy Davis. And the interception by Derek Brooks.
And let's not forget their turnover that they ran back for a touchdown that was called back.
Tolliver completes on first down to Eddie Kennison. Kennison's second catch of the game, and he's got another first down. So this no-huddle offense is working for the Saints. Donnie Abraham is slow getting up here.
That was his right arm.
thought he got hit by his own man as he was going down. Abraham being checked out. I think he got hit in the head by his own man coming by. Bill, or he got doubled down. Yeah. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they will play 5 of their final 8 games, second half of the season, at home, where they're 2-1 this season and normally play well. Abraham being checked out, the jaw being wiggled a little bit.
You know, the one thing for sure is that this Tampa Bay Bucs team needs to realize it's not that team that started out in '97 and went 5-0. And since that time, when they had that comfortable early, remember that latter part of that season, they lost like 5 of their last 6 games or whatever it was, and they hovered, or they got into the playoffs. But since then, they really had to battle each and every game. 98, they had problems. 99, they started out the same thing, and they need to just realize that they're not as good or as great as they think they are. They're a team that has to battle every single week.
Brian Kelly has moved over to the left corner. Rondé Barber has come back in, and Tolliver shovels the pass away as he was going down. It's incomplete. Good pressure up the middle from Warren Sapp. The Bucs have only 1 sack in the game by Brad Culpepper, but they have put on good pressure on Billy Joe Tolliver.
And when you're Warren Sapp or any defensive lineman and you're in this kind of situation with a comfortable lead, fourth quarter, you know teams are going 2 minutes, no huddle, you know you're rushing the passer every down.
Tolliver being rushed again. Looking downfield and runs it, and is shoved out of bounds by Derek Brooks at the 31-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd and long.
Well, they're not getting Tolliver to the ground, but with just a straight 4-man rush, they actually have a little twist going on in here. But it's 4 guys, and watch them get there. Sapp working outside, White coming up underneath, Booger McFarland on the twist outside. I mean, the 4 guys are getting pressure, and when you get the quarterback moving like this, it cuts his chances in half.
There's Warren Sapp. Booger McFarland has been playing around 15 plays a game, the rookie, and they want to get him up to maybe 20, 25 late in the season. Tolliver gets time. Wide open is Keith Poole. Rondé Barber tackles him across the 20-yard line. Keith Poole lost his shoe on the tackle.
Now, he lost his shoe, and Rondé Barber lost his footing. He was in coverage. That's why Poole was so wide open that time.
Barber's still hurting. He's playing with an injured leg. With Abraham out, Kelly went to the other side. Barber's trying to play, but he's been limping. Handoff inside of Ricky Williams. Short pickup inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Brad Culpepper back in, made the tackle.
Barber is limping, and now he's just taking himself.
Yeah.
He's trying to get out of the game. He came all the way over. He's playing the right corner side. He walked all the way over. He's trying to get out of the game. Watch him walk.
Well, Abraham has come back in, and now the Bucs call timeout. And they're upset in that huddle. Hardy Nickerson was very upset. Cornerbacks, it's Rondé Barber, who's now moved in the nickel situation to the slot. Donnie Abraham's back on the field, but he was shaken up as well.
I mean, this is when you have to challenge him. Especially, I think, Rondé Barber, because it's his leg that's bothering him. Look like his groin. You've got to go after him.
2nd and 10, 11th play of this drive, which started on the Saints' 4-yard line. Tolliver for Cleveland, it was deflected. Looks like Hardy Nickerson may have gotten his hand in to bat that ball away.
Well, this was a nice play here by Nickerson getting in. Here's Cleveland right here working the middle of the field. Watch him come over, get his hand in there. That's the speed I talked about Hardy Nickerson. But I want you to watch back here. See who was in the back of the end zone?
Who was that?
Keith Poole? It was Keith Poole who was lined up on Rondé Barber.
Here's 3rd and 10. Tolliver gets time, throws deep into the end zone for Poole. It's batted away. Brian Kelly, good job of coverage on Keith Poole.
Well, here's Poole out here, and he's working on Kelly. Look at Barber. He's stumbling with his foot. But that's just a nice play by Kelly. Rondé Barber couldn't get there to help out. Kelly played that exceptionally well, using the sidelines as his partner and keeping right in the underneath. If you're going to throw to the end zone, make him throw it over you.
Trailing by 18, Doug Bryan comes on to attempt a 37-yard field goal. He's 2 for 2 in the game. And make it 3 for 3 for Doug Bryan. So the Bucs defense stiffens and allows only 3 points. It's 24-9.
The receiver right here, work the middle of the field. Rondé Barber, look at his feet. He can't get out. Look at him. His feet are planted. He can't get out. There's a receiver here and a receiver right there.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers came forward anticipating an onside kick. Now the Saints have gone back to their regular kickoff position. Doug Bryan to kick off here. And Bryan kicks it away to Yo Murphy, who had a 55-yard return early in the game. Murphy is brought down at the 20-yard line. Marvin Powell was in on the stop, along with Brett Betch.
Stuart, can I see you in my office, please?
That kid is very sick.
Get in here.
Sure thing, Mr. Pink.
Stuart, I just opened my Ameritrade account.
Let's light this candle. Go to Ameritrade.com. It's easier than falling in love. What do you feel like buying today, Mr. P?
Kmart.
So research it. All this stuff is provided for you free of charge.
No cost.
Yes, that's synonymous with free.
Looks like a good stock.
Let's buy.
Let's buy 100 shares.
All right, click it in there.
Okay.
How about 500?
100, Stuart.
Feel the excitement? You're about to buy a stock
Okay.
online.
Oh, fabulous. I'm thrilled.
What did that cost me?
$8, my man.
$8.
$8. Riding the wave of the future, my man. I gotta get a soda. I'm sorry, Mr. P. I'm having a party on Saturday night. If you really want to go,
I'm going to try and get there. Thank
happy
you, Stuart.
trading.
Thank you.
Rock on.
All right, Stuart.
Call toll-free 1-888-320-7003. Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
In feature films, the production assistant gets stuff where it needs to be. A dozen glaze, a dozen chocolate. So my car is pretty much my office. In 8 days, I drove about 1,000 miles. Some people may have a window office or a corner office. Me, I've got a window office for corners.
Lease a Saturn SL for $159 a month for 39 months. $14.95 due at lease signing.
Julie, what's your 20?
I'm in the car.
When Homer mixes tobacco and tomatoes, it's tobacco country.
It's smooth and mild and refreshingly addictive.
An all-new Simpsons at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox.
Fox football doubleheader next Sunday. Early games, Minnesota, Chicago, Washington, Philadelphia, Carolina, St. Louis, San Francisco, and New Orleans. Late game, Green Bay and Dallas. Pat Summerall and John Madden call that one. Hey, 3 winning teams lost today. Green Bay, St. Louis, and Washington.
You're talking about those quarterbacks. You look at Warner and Johnson and throw John Kitna in there. They're all NFL Europe quarterbacks.
On first down, Mike Allstott takes it up to the 24-yard line. Leroy Glover, he played in NFL Europe.
He was in NFL Europe. And this past month, John Kitna was the AFC Offensive Player of the Month, and Kurt Warner was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. Two guys that came up and honed their skills over in NFL Europe, along with Leroy Glover. And that league is a proving league for players. There's not a game I do, any place I do it, I don't see these guys playing all over the place.
3 tight ends in for Tampa Bay as they look to grind things out here. John Davis, who caught a touchdown pass in this game. The handoff to Allstott. Pulls his way up to about the 29-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
Now, Tampa Bay's offensive line today, really, they took the bull by the horns. They took the responsibility, I think, because they came under so much fire and criticism. Talking with some of those guys, they said, hey, we've got to step up. We've got to take control of this team and be what we are. Give it a personality. because this offense is a pound-you offense. It's a power running game offense featuring the power O play, and that's the offensive line. These guys should have nicknames like the old Washington Redskins did. Well, they need to have that kind of mentality that that's what they're going to be. They don't have that yet.
3rd and 2, Allstott again, first down. There's that power offense. Allstott is carried for 65 yards in this game, 16 carries.
One of those guys in the offensive line, Wunsch, Jerry Wunsch. I just love the name. I mean, that's an offensive line.
We want the Wunsch punch. That's what he wants to work on, the Wunsch punch.
He wants to, that right hand. He likes to get it out on pass protection. His punch, Wunsch's punch. Great guy, too. I mean, you know, he's getting his chance to start now that Odoms is down. And just he looks like an offensive lineman. He acts like an offensive lineman. He's got the offensive lineman last name. He's trying to get this unit some fire and an identity.
His 5th consecutive start. Allstott on first down, a couple of yards on the play. Jason Odom has missed 5 games with a bad back. They sent him to Charlotte to see a back specialist. He's come back. He's going to try some new treatment, and it's probably last chance treatment. The next thing after that would be back surgery for Jason Odom.
Yeah, there's a good chance that he might not be back the rest of the season. And with that, the offensive line, if you look at their draft choices over the years, the offensive line for the Bucs, they haven't had a first-round draft choice since '88 when they got Gruber.
On the offensive line.
Yeah. And if you're a power offensive line, if you're a bread and butter run the ball, I think that's one area that's really neglected in the draft as of late.
On second down, Dilfer hit as he throws, but he completes it to Riddell Anthony across the 45-yard line. Second catch of the game for Anthony. Spotted up close to the 47. It's a first down.
This guy's having a good day. And you know what was funny is the players, his teammates, and coaches were saying, hey, you look confident, you look better, you look healthier, you look looser in practice, you're having fun. And although he wouldn't admit it, that's the only natural thing to do. It just comes because the worst thing has already happened to you.
The toss to Dunn, and he gets outside. Well, the Bucs running the ball for the most part and running it well. As Dunn is out of bounds at the Saints 41, another first down.
But that's a play that I'm seeing around the league a lot. And I think the St. Louis Rams are the ones that started. It's called a flip 90. A reverse pivot action by the quarterback. It gets everybody kind of going this way, the defense. And then Dunn just goes like this. Watch. Then you turn around and flip out the back door. And now you see the seam here. Because you have the defense going one way with the counter action from the quarterback and the step from the line goes the defense there. I'm seeing a lot of teams run that. You know how trendy the NFL is. Everybody runs the same plays. I saw it first from the Rams with Marshall Faulk.
Dunn with 42 yards on 12 carries. Allstott over 60 yards. Gets a couple here down to the 38-yard line as the Bucs just look to grind it out and work the clock down.
Well, this is what they aspire to be. Now, the problem is that they haven't been able to be that all the time. You see it in spurts. You see it a couple times here, a couple times there. But they need to be there. They need to be able to line up and chew up the clock, maul you, play action, high percentage passes for Trent Dilfer. He makes them when he has to.
Now, Eric Zier, who was put in as the starter last week but suffered the rib injury, could be out another game next week. But right now, I would say Dilfer has won the job back just by winning.
Well, that's going to be a tough trap for Tony Dungy not to get caught into.
Allstott down across the 35-yard line.
Talk about rushing and winning with Tony Dungy. Look what happens when they run the ball 30 or more times. The record. This is the overall record over here. 22-6, 30 or more. Anytime they have 100 or more yards, they're 22-8. You can see the difference as opposed to when they don't run it. And the time of possession. They won 20 times. And now they've done all three of those things today. They have over 30 rushes. They have over 100 yards on the ground. And they're winning the time of possession.
Allstott 19 carries, 74 yards. Dunn 12 carries, 42 yards. And Dilfer is added to that with 3 touchdown passes. Flags go down. Allstott with a big carry. More flags going down. And I think they'll bring this play back.
That was the old wham play.
The false start whistled against Tampa Bay.
Illegal formation by the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Number 71 was on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
That's Jerry Wunsch, number 71.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Was it Davis when he motioned?
Yeah.
When Davis
See,
motioned,
what happens is when you motion your end covered up here, your wide receiver has to come up on the line outside. See, over here, Anthony did not come up on the line of scrimmage when they motioned the tight end Davis.
Fifth penalty of the game for the Bucs. It brings up a 3rd and 9. They spot the ball just inside the 40-yard line. They've got to get to the 31, and the Bucs have been outstanding on third downs in the game. 10 for 13. That's something that has hurt the Bucs early in the season. The shovel pass, Warwick Dunn, first down again. How about that?
They're using a lot of little different trick things. You want to look, right now is the time in the game when you have a comfortable lead. Now you can start doing other things. And when you're doing other things, what in essence you're doing is you're running them out of the same formation as you normally run things, but you're confusing the computer work for next week. Now they're going to take those tendencies and change them. You know, you get the strong statistics. Well, we're run I-backs. We're going to run the power road to this side. Well, now you come back and you run a couple different things in there to mix up all those computers.
Warwick Dunn closing in on 100 yards combined. 54 receiving. 42 rushing. That was a 13-yard pickup on a pass completion. Here's Allstott on first down, trying to bounce it off people. Finally gets shoved back. May have picked up a yard on the play. Under 4 minutes to go, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers about to close this one out in a must-win situation to keep their playoff hopes alive into the second half of the season.
Look at this drive, Sam. This drive's been going for 7 minutes and 11 seconds in the fourth quarter to secure a win. That is what they have to be week in and week out. You can't be this once every 4 or 5 weeks.
Nope.
You have to do this every single week, and that's on the offensive line. It's solely on the offensive line to play this kind of football.
And they stop the play. This will be a false start. Next week, the Bucs will be home to play Kansas City.
Kansas City on that loss.
Before the snap, ball starts. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Take a look at what the NFC Central looks like. Detroit is up top, and this is what they have the next 3 weeks. Green Bay 4-4, Minnesota 4-4, and they play home against Dallas tomorrow night. Tampa Bay will be home against Kansas City and Atlanta before going to Seattle, and Chicago with Minnesota, San Diego, and at Detroit. And a very tight NFC Central with Chicago winning in Green Bay today, 14-13.
John Lynch, what an unbelievable day, and Gene Hanatu. That whole entire defense really came out and set the tone. They set the tone just coming out. I told you, he lives a great life. Things go well for him. He's laughing. He knows he's got a great life. He plays football the way it's supposed to play. He makes big plays. He's got a great wife and kids. I mean, he's loving life and having fun.
And the Bucs in control. They're 11 for 14 on third down. This is 3rd and 10 at the 26-yard line. The toss. Allstott cuts it back. Flag is down as he's brought down around the 22-yard line. Check out the penalty here. It's a hold against the Bucs, which will bring them back. For the New Orleans Saints, this is another huge disappointment. It'll be their 7th consecutive loss.
You know, at the start of the game, if you go back,
Holding
Sam.
by the offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Against Paul Gruber.
And you think about the Saints. Fred Weary picked up that ball and ran it back. And Xavier Alien was saying, you know, last year that defense had 9 touchdowns and 2 safeties. And they haven't been able to do that this year, and they haven't gotten that spark from their defense. They're a good defense. They're not getting the turnovers and big plays for points as they did last year. Now, that's hard to do. But they came out, and Fred Weary picked up that fumble. He ran it back to touchdown. And then since then, they had to come back, gave the ball back to Tampa Bay, and then then it kind of went south.
But that was the right call on the replay.
Oh, yeah, it was the right
runner
call.
was down.
But the emotional up, they thought they had one.
Yeah.
They thought, bang, we're over the hump. We got it. They had to come back. Tampa Bay lines up. They kick a field goal out of the thing, and it really deflated them.
Staying on the ground with Warwick Dunn, and another flag comes in. That comes from Ed Hockley, and it's holding against Tampa Bay again.
Ed Hockley is on a mission by himself in the NFL to correct all the holding that goes on.
All right. Let's see whether the Saints will push the Bucs back further.
Offense number 74, 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
2 in a row on Paul Gruber. Paul Gruber, who is a legend in Madison, Wisconsin. Jerry Wunsch was telling us that he is revered. Pictures everywhere at the university, in stores. This is a man who is revered in Madison. Started at the University of Wisconsin.
He's revered in Tampa, too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around the NFL respect what Paul Gruber's done. 12 years playing left tackle over there, facing week in and week out the best pass rushers. And, his career's, coming down slowly. But here's a guy that's been doing it and was at a Pro Bowl level for years and never made it.
The Bucs have penalized themselves out of field goal position. Dilfer will put it up. And throws and completes to Darnell McDonald. And he's out of bounds at the 33-yard line, short of a first down. McDonald's third catch, including his first NFL touchdown. Well, the best night on television is back. Fox Sunday, with all new episodes of King of the Hill, The Simpsons, and Futurama. Then the event you've been waiting for, the X-Files season premiere. It all starts with a new special, Outrageous TV, following football right here on Fox.
I'm just waiting for Moeller.
Martin Gramatica, a 51-yard attempt. His career long was 51 at Philadelphia in the second game of the season. And this one has got the distance. He hooked it, and it is no good. He had plenty of distance, but he hooked it wide left. 24-9 lead with a little over 2 minutes to go in the game.
Well, that offensive line right there really deserves a couple attaboys. They do. They did a heck of a good job today, buying Dilfer time, controlling the line of scrimmage, racking up yards. And the thing about it is they've set a new precedent. They've raised the bar. Now they have to do that every single week.
Did a good job protecting Trent Dilfer, who had a great day on third down conversion.
Well, that's the whole thing. They're 11 for 15 on the day on third down. Dilfer is 8 for 10 on third down. That may be his best percentage of third down in his career.
Oliver running away, throws it off to Lamar Smith out of the backfield. He gets across midfield, has the first down at the Bucs' 48-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Mike Ditka's team can't pull this one. Bucs. Eric Zier on the sideline with cartilage problem in the ribs. And Trent Dilfer has had a strong game. So who gets the start, Bill, next week?
That's going to be something that Tony Dungy's going to have to think long and hard about.
Oliver steps up, throws short to Lamar Smith. Smith trying to get to the sideline, is taken down at the 42. Well, my guess is that the winning quarterback stays in. For Mike Ditka, this has turned into a nightmare of a season. The Saints had some high hopes with Ricky Williams coming in, but they have had 7 consecutive losses. This will be number 7. Smith, third consecutive reception, gets down to the 30-yard line.
No, in Mike's behalf, too, they've had to change quarterbacks all the time since he's been here. They've had so many quarterback changes in there. It's hard to get anything done when you're changing the quarterback position that much.
Oliver spiked the ball to stop the clock with 1:14 to go in the game.
On the other side of it, Tony Dungy's had the same quarterback since he's been there. I mean, Dilfer started all those games for him. 55 games he started for Tony Dungy until he was benched last week. But, that's a nice situation to have. At least you have the same guy in there, and you can run your offense, and everybody's accustomed to what they're doing. Now, Tony's going to have a tough decision next week on who you're going to go with. when you made the decision, if you actually believed that Dyer was your better chance for success.
But how can you take a winning quarterback out of the lineup? He's had maybe his best game of the year.
He sure has had his best game of the year.
Oliver being pressured, throwing, and a great catch. And stumbling forward was Andre Hastings. Great grab as he gets down to the 2-yard line. Oliver wants to spike the ball. Less than a minute to go. Everybody lined up, and the spike stopped the clock with 52 seconds remaining. 29-yard completion, Tolliver to Andre Hastings. Mike Ditka may have Billy Joe Hobart back next week. He was told to avoid contact after re-injuring the nerve problem that he had with a tackle last week after a turnover. Seemed to be throwing the ball well in pregame warm-ups today. Saints still have all 3 timeouts remaining. They want to get in, try the onside kick, and use those timeouts. Bucs coming with a blitz. Tolliver throwing in the end zone. Touchdown to Keith Cole. Can the Saints come up with a miracle finish here?
I don't think there's enough time.
48 seconds. They will go for the extra point. Rondé Barber playing on a sore leg. Comes off. So it's now a 24-15 game. Doug Bryan for the extra point. And it's 24-16.
Yeah, they need the onside kick. They need to recover it. They need to score a touchdown and go for 2.
I may have misspoke when I said they can't come back. They needed a miracle, and they're part of the way there.
This is all on Billy Joe Tolliver, too, this play, because he was signaling to the sideline that he wanted to run a pass here. He had the matchup outside. Nice little push-off from Poole on Kelly.
So now it's in the hands of the special teams for the New Orleans Saints as they head out onto the field. And ready for the onside kick. This will be the big play, and Joe Marciano has his special teams unit around him. On the reception, the all-hands team. That's Bobby April, the special teams coach for the Saints. Linebackers, defensive backs.
Where are your receivers? The reason defensive backs are defensive backs because they can't catch the ball. Where are your receivers? That's the truth. Where are your receivers?
It's linebackers and defensive backs out there. There's Doug Bryan setting his team for the onside try. It's on the way, and I don't know if it went 10 yards. Dave Moore recovered it. The flag